Okay, how are we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. Coming in today to make a few changes on my account today. There are some areas that I need to get to in my YouTube account because there's some things going to be changing. As I said before, we're working on some names and stuff. Crystal Edge is pretty much going to be on its way out. We still have a website under Crystal Edge. It's just that we're getting prepared and ready for some things that are coming up. So there are a few things I'm changing out on my account. So there's an option somewhere in the advanced settings on your account that can show you who your subscribers are. So me over into this area because I've heard someone talk about this, decided to pop over into this particular section, see who my subscribers are. This is how I know how many Crow boys are actually watching my channel. Yeah, I know you're on my channels. I know you guys are watching. I know you think because you're secret and you think you're hidden, you're not. There's options in YouTube, hidden advanced options that can allow me to get access to be able to figure out who is on my account and who shouldn't be on my account. Can I remove you? Yeah, I can block you and remove you for good. I can actually eliminate you from entering the account, but I leave you on there because, hey, I mean, if you guys want to watch my new technology pop up, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day if you give me 8. My contracts still stay the same and my orders still stay the same. Nothing changes. It always stays the same. But if you want to come over and watch, hey, I'm flattered. So, who popped up first on my channel? He's one of the subscribers. Yes. On my channel. He didn't make himself, you can make yourself, I'm not going to get into all that, but the technical terms of YouTube, but he's been on there for quite some time. He's been on there and it tells how long he's been on there, how many times he subscribed to my channel, because I've blocked him a couple of times, but it shows how many times he has subscribed to my channel, which is interesting because we're not subscribed to his at all, period. We don't even go into chat rooms. We don't go into Q&As, nothing. Why would I be over there to begin with? There's nothing over there for me to be over there for. Nothing. We don't have that problem. You see this right here? For those of you that are new to watching this, you see this? You know what this is? These are canceled orders. These are bulks of canceled orders that when we tried to purchase his products with his permission to bring the products over here for testing, they were canceled and money was put back into our accounts. That's all the bulk orders we have. 11 canceled orders back to back in here. These are all canceled orders. So no, we don't have any interest in going to a channel where someone's going to constantly cancel massive amount of orders and brag about a product that really doesn't even work. You hear that drop? That's his order. That's the whatchamacallit's order. So I just found it interesting that we don't have no interest in anything that he does because, like I said, at the end of the day, his product is nothing more, and I've proved it in black and white paint. We even sat there and said in videos where before placing his orders, look, if you drop this order, then your product is this, that, and the other, telling them, you know what I mean, to go out and put, and he just couldn't back up his products at all, period. And we got like bulks of them here of canceled order after canceled order. So if you're canceling orders where you're afraid to have your product come over here for proper testing, and I do mean proper testing, because you know how long my demonstrations are for basically explaining white screens and gray screens, they're pretty long. So we go through everything. We just don't take a whole bunch of pretty pictures and hit it with the high power projector, sit in the dark and say, look, the image looks good. That's the end of it. No, we break it all down for you so you can see exactly what you're getting. And if your product is being used to being in these really comfortable environments, there's no way in the world they're going to be to survive out here. So I know for a simple fact that that's the reason why a lot of the orders, actually all the orders, every last one of them got canceled. And this is after receiving an email from you telling us we could buy whatever we want off your site, even giving us a link to buy from it. And I just find it interesting that you're in here on my YouTube channel watching what we do. Maybe it's because you're copying us or trying to copy us, or maybe you don't have any more ideas. I don't know what it may be, but it's interesting that you're watching us, a person who calls themselves the best of the best, that makes the best products. If anybody other products never tested your product against any form of real certified projection screens, no real testing, no real outside testing, No contrast demonstrations, nothing. I mean, in our demonstrations, we can take a 126-inch screen and we can put it side by side to a white screen, your products, my own mix, certified projection screens, and our product just comes out on top. But yeah, I found that interesting today. That was the first subscriber to pop up on the account. So it's interesting that the same person who pretty much hates us and whatever we're supposed to be is the same person that's in love with our channel, because he's the #1 subscriber right up there on my channel. Not on his channel. What would I be over there for, honestly? I was making his products 12 years ago. Again, we don't deal in, as a matter of fact, today we have a few announcements to make today that we are basically strictly only dealing with dark technology. As a matter of fact, if you go to my website, you'll see one of the names pop up there that we're only dealing with dark technology. Where's my mouse over here? Yeah, we're only dealing with dark technology now. So I don't know why you would have any need to be over here. Unless you're trying to figure out how to make a black screen paint. I don't know. Or maybe you're watching when I do demonstrations and downstairs in the lab. We get a lot of interesting. I go in and check my subscribers. Basically around that time, I can see how many people have logged in, who's watching when we do demonstrations down there in the shop. I'm pretty sure I sat there and said that they're probably going to slow down the video to break it down to see if they can find any secrets. Yeah, good luck in that. You got a better chance of finding a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow than finding anything in my basement. I just found that really interesting that he popped up as a subscriber. I think that's one of the orders that got canceled when he was asking. He invited us to buy the product and then he wanted me to call him for some strange reason, which was really weird. Like, why do you want me to call you and then have you explain to me why you want some of your product that you clearly told me to go in and buy? I don't get that part. And now you are a subscriber to our channel. And I'm not going to block you at all. If you want to stay on there and see how it's really done in real life, how products are really done, and maybe you may learn something from this. Maybe you may start doing honest video demonstrations where you're not taking bare silver screen and you're doing demonstrations at 13 feet back and then you're right up on top of the screen to try to convince people that there's a difference in there. Maybe you might start doing real ambient light rejection demonstrations, and showing the entire video of contrast, color, and all that other good stuff instead of just doing nothing but color. Because I told you, my mix can do the same thing. My product that I made out of black and white paint can do the exact same thing your product can do. I can be in a flooded environment. I can show you color just like you can do it. Same thing. The only problem is you're just not picking up real color. You don't see that at all, period. I'm just, for those you don't know, and those who do know, this stack that I have in my hand is a stack of canceled orders from the individual who claims that, I should get this out of the way, who claims that his product is supposed to be the best, but when we get it down here for the real testing, it's canceled out. Look at this. Even we caught him faking a product on his website. That's a fake product on his website. It doesn't exist. You don't make a black paint. You don't make any black. The darkest paint you have is UV, and we have that here. We tested that. That stuff is actually awful. I mean, no disrespect, but it's very, very awful. And I got the videos to back it up. I'm not going to come on here and say your product's awful without tests. We have tests on that product. That product cannot pull a white level to say it's sold. A Phoenix is black, and a Phoenix can pull a white level higher than a UV mix, and a UV mix is gray. It's so gray, it can't even pull the same contrast as a Phoenix. That's another cancel order. But when we placed the order, it was for a black. Now he has it down as gunmetal. But I just find it interesting that you subscribe to our channel and you watch us. The same person's going around saying that we're scammers and our products don't work and this, that, and the other. You're in there watching. I mean, it's because we don't do the same demonstrations every day. We're not outside doing the same demonstration in front of the same screen in the same living room every single day with the same projector. As a matter of fact, we're going to be outside today. Actually, going to be outside today a few times. I got one demonstration to do downstairs for a customer. I have another demonstration to do on the blackout cloth that we have for another customer. And then I have to be outside with the inflatable projection screens. And for you Crow boys, oh, we know who you are. We know who all of you are who come into our channel watch. Thank you for coming in and watching. That's why when customers can't understand, they say, well, who are you talking to? You say, I'm talking to them. They're actually on my channel. We know you're on your channel. That's what the little option is for. You'll find it in your YouTube channel. It's in there. It's in everybody's YouTube channel. You just have to find it. But it's in there. It shows all your subscribers. Let me see. There you go. This is what I was looking for. There's your little document. This right here is framed. Right here, I got this framed in a gold frame on my desk, on my office, in the next room. And right here, this is the official email that Crow sent to us when we're trying to get his products down here for testing, for proper testing, not that fake testing he does in his demonstration, where he basically has control of ambient light and doesn't swap out projectors and all that stuff. He has those comfortable environments. We were trying to bring him down here to do real testing. I know for a fact that you did not beat a Dark Star 9. That's virtually impossible. We already showed that you didn't pull the contrast lows next to that screen. But this is where we had a buyer. This is how we were able to get a hold of the UV mix. We were able to get a hold of the Metallica mix 2.0, and we were able to get a hold of the personal mix. We had a person go in and buy those products and mail them to us. Well, same thing happened here, but that was what, last year? Yeah, we had the demonstrations. Everything's backed up. What we do, we tell you back everything up. We had the live streams where he basically canceled, tried to cancel. We did cancel mostly all the orders. He tried to hike the price up, and then he pulled his eBay account. All that's recorded. All that's documented. But anyway, we had to have trying to buy through his site, eBay site. That's what we went through. So finding out we couldn't do that anymore, we had a person going and buy the product, and that's how we're able to get a hold of the products we had downstairs now. Now trying to get a hold of the new stuff he has. Well, we had some of the stuff he has on the site now. The Cinemax, trying to place an order for the Cinemax to have it brought over here. We had a buyer go out and get it, but the buyer had already made a previous purchase, and he was able to figure out who he was, so he canceled his order. So he sends us this little email telling us that, hey, look, why go through a buyer? Why go through this, that, and the other? You can go straight through me and you can buy whatever you want. And this is what this little letter is. This is why I have it on a 24 karat gold frame in my office, because this is my trophy from you. And this shows you in this document, going out this email that you sent to us with your email address attached to it, tells us that you don't have to go through any of the nonsense or getting buyers to buy this, that, and the other. Because when we have buyers going and buy for us, this causes a paranoia streak on Crow's behalf. And I'll tell you why it causes a paranoia streak. Because now he has to kind of figure out who are the buyers and who are the customers. And that causes a lot of problems for him. If the product works as you say it does, then this should not be an issue for you. It should not be an issue of stress of trying to figure out who are buyers and who are from us. You should not be complaining about harassment. You should not be complaining about anything. If your product works, it works. That's it. If it doesn't do exactly as you claim as it does in the videos, then you have something to hide. And this is why you would go through these great measurements to make sure the product does not reach your hands, because we will test it. Well, what about the other half that may be curious about or if he's going through all that, why shouldn't I test it? That's the other hand you're going to have to worry about, because now you're going to spark an interest, and other people are going to want to do the same thing we're doing. But as I said before, this is the email that was sent to us by him. So that way, if he sends us this, he figured that, hey, there's no way in the world this guy's going to go in, make an order, and put his real address in there. That's what he was thinking. You wrote a check you couldn't cash. You got the wrong person. I hit that 11 times. 11 times. I made 11 orders through that site. That's what he was hoping that I wasn't going to do. So he sends me this email telling me about at the top subject, no need to go through all that nonsense. Hey, buy with confidence. When you write the word confidence, do you even know what that even means? You have to know what that means before you start writing stuff down. And this is where he told us, sent us a link. There's a link right there, telling us right directly to your website. We made every single order through that link. We didn't go around the link. We made it through the link. And there's where he's telling us, here's a link. Check out my product. We wanted the Cinemax. He sent us the exact link to the Cinemax. And this is where we went in and we placed the order. Now, not only did you send us the information on how to buy from you, go right directly to your website and give full permission to buy, but then you put a couple insults in there. You wanted me to be a man for the first time in my life. Well, we got about 11 canceled orders sitting here on the floor and you're claiming about you're a professional. Oh, nice freaking hawk. We get red tail hawks right around this time. Yeah, so right there. And right here it says buy all you want. So that's what we did. We bought all what we wanted. And we bought more, and we bought more. And every time we bought from you, every single time the order was canceled every time. That's why I had somebody asking me why was one of the orders in gold. That order was in gold because that's the first order we placed. And in mind you fact, all these were recorded. Every last one of these were recorded live. That is the first order we placed on your product. When the link you gave us, I went in and placed the order right there on live, came back in, and the order was canceled. So how do you give somebody a invite to buy off your site and then you cancel the order? I don't care about the cancel order. Like I said, we'll just go back in and get another buyer as we did to get your products up there. It's not impossible. If it was impossible to get your product, we wouldn't have what we have downstairs right now. And we went through that last year. We're trying to, or a year before last year, of trying to get your products over here. So if someone's willing to go through all of this, this is a lot of cancel orders. They went through all of this to make sure a product did not make it to its destination. What do they have to hide? That's a lot right there. And then not only that, the same individual who is canceling all these orders is subscribed to my channel. Watching my products, watching what we make, watching what we're doing. It doesn't bother me at all. Hey, if you want to watch, go ahead. That way you can see how a real professional works. See how real technology is developed, how real testing are done. Maybe you'll take something from that. Maybe you'll decide to go, you know what, I gotta start changing the way I start doing my products, and I start doing real demonstrations instead of these fake demonstrations. And that way you won't be so afraid of having other people really put your product onto the grinder because you know your product will pass because you tested it out properly. The only time people who make these accusations are people who don't do their testing properly, like lying on your website by claiming that you have a product that you don't have. 1 minute it says on your product that you have a black paint, which you don't have, and then the next minute you have a gunmetal. This is not even on your site. You know why? This is gold for me. This also too about to be framed onto a gold frame. You know why? Because this is not on your website anymore. For some reason, this particular product disappeared. Now, how do you claim that you don't like black screens, they pull up images too dark, you're constantly slandering them, but you're basically doing false advertisement by placing a black product on your site? And you can sit there and say, well, you don't do silver paints. Hey, I was doing silver and gray paints before we even knew who you were. Way, way, way back before I even knew who you even were. You weren't even mentioned in any of the video demonstrations under digital crystal screen paint because we didn't even know who you were at all, period. So I was making those products a long time ago before you. But as I said before, you know, I don't put down silver products. I just feel that they're just the gray paints are just basically old technology, and that's how I feel. And I feel the darker technology is where it's at. And if that wasn't the case, like I said, you're people who come on my channel want to argue this. I sit there and say, what color is your cell phone? Is your cell phone gray or is it black? What color is it? Your monitors, anything you have in your house involving monitors or TVs, what color are they? Are they black or gray? They're black. There you go. The reason why. That's where the new technology is at. It's black. That's where it's at. So that's the end of that conversation right there. But just want to show you real quick. We're not going to put a lot of time into this because it's unnecessary. But I just want to show you that the very same person who hates me the most and basically says I'm obsessed with him. You're one of my top subscribers right now. Oh, and by the way, this is your subscription number right there. And that's mine. If you want to know. I mean, my number is not big. I don't have a giant number now. And I'm happy because I have subscribers. Thank you so much. I got 46 in the last 28 days. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do. And But it just shows you, like I said, where I stand and where you stand. And you're actually one of those subscribers out of that count right there. Yep. So for all y'all thinking that, oh no, he doesn't pay me anymore. No, he watches me. I know that for a fact that he watches me. I've seen a lot of things in this demonstration from time to time with stuff that we've already did already. He copies a lot of our demonstrations. Most of the stuff we do, he repeats it. He tries to repeat it, but it, what I mean, hey, what you need to do is you need to really start doing real demonstrations. And that UV mix, I mean, I can't get over that. I still can't get over that, especially a person who works in dark technology. I really can't. And that is considered, and for those of you who want to sit there and argue that back and forth, that's a dark product. It is. It's actually literally a dark product. So when he made the UV mix, he actually made a dark product. You may say because it's not black. No, it's still a dark product. If you look at a slate, we make a screen called a dark slate. It's darker than his product, but it's still not black. It's still considered to be a dark product. Even though the, for instance, that's a phantom right there. That's a phantom gold screen. A phantom gold screen that's not black, but that's considered to be dark. Only time they consider a product to be light, unless it's basically like the bare silver screen or the cinema gray. Those are considered to be light products. The Personal Mix, Cinemax, all that. Those are light products. But when you get into the elements of where the UV stands at, that is a dark product. It is. So technically, he does have a dark screen. The problem with the dark screen he has is the fact that it can't pull a white level to save its soul, and it can't pull a white level because it doesn't have anything in the ingredient to allow it to read white light. That's the problem. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't have any ingredients, and from all the stuff I've researched down through time on how to get a screen to actually read white light, what elements need to be added into it to get it to react, it doesn't fit any of those elements at all, period. And if it doesn't fit any of those elements, at the end of the day, it comes down to a black and white paint mixture. That's what it comes down to. That's the only conclusion on what it is. I guarantee I can make the exact same thing. It would have the same exact reaction. If I went right now to Home Depot and say, hey, give me some black and white paint, I take the black paint, add a couple, keep the base and a black base, and I put a couple of teaspoons of white in it to lighten it up, to get to a bit of a dark gray, it'll react the exact same way. Which we do need to run that test anyway. We're gonna run that test anyway this week. I don't have time because I have some things I'm working on right now, and we're getting ready to launch the inflatable screens. Oh, by the way, price tag for the inflatable screens are gonna be around $559. We already have people lined up to buy already for them. We just haven't had time. We had to figure out exactly what the shipping costs, and that's with the free shipping. And I know we're gonna have people saying, we go through this all the time, we develop new technology. People say, well, I can go out and get myself a white screen and do this. Yeah, good luck on that one. Good luck on that one. We're going to be doing those demonstrations against the Yardmaster. Yardmaster is the only screen we have. I think Viva Storm makes a white outdoor projection screen. Pretty much anything outside makes a white outdoor projection screen, to tell you the truth. And we'll show you in our demonstrations, hopefully if the weather's well tonight, that the difference between why our black screens are more superior over any white screen outside, period. We've done that a dozen times, but we have to do it on this particular product. Okay, well. That was just interesting to say. I just had to share that with you, that the fact that he's one of our subscribers. Who knew that he's one of our subscribers? He's actually one of our fans. Interesting. But as I said before, we're not even on his channel. We don't go to Q&As. Why would I go to a Q&A and talk about gray and black screen paint when I made it back in 2019? Well, actually, way back, 2012. 2012, wow. Oh. Demonstration from back in the day. See, the thing about it is, a lot of you naysayers don't know that I had an original company under Digital Crystal Screen Paint. You only know me of now. You don't know anything about my history. See, way back then, I had a company under Digital Crystal Screen Paint, and that's all we did develop. It's the same products that Crow had, except for ours. We're a little bit more advanced than Crow's. We did a lot of demonstrations with the lights on, because at that particular era, people were only doing demonstrations with the lights out, with those particular YouTube screen paint mixes. Let me see, kind of look under here. I haven't typed this in a long time. Screen. There we go. I told you 8 years ago. I can back up anything I talk about. My archives goes a mile long, maybe even more than that. We were making that product. The same light gray screen paint, we were making that. 8 years ago. I told you, I know every combination there is possibly to making a gray screen paint. Every combination to making it. See that little tiny room I was in? That's where I first started off at. See, it's shocking because some of you naysayers only know me as under dark technology. Oh, no, no, no. We did both. We mastered light technology and dark technology. I know everything there is. I know everything about his product, how it's made, how it's constructed, how it's designed. I know it already because I used to make it many, many years ago. There we go. A long time ago, my little rented room. We made this stuff already many years ago. Isn't that kind of shocking? You never thought, huh? You thought all that time that I only made black technology.
Hello, my name is Kent. I'm designer of digital and crystal screen paint. In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you exactly how you can...
Did you hear
Hello, my name is Kent. I'm designer of digital and crystal screen paint. In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you exactly how you can paint any color wall. Now, darkest color you can get
digital crystal screen paint.
What you're seeing right here is, sorry about that, I have a bit of cold. The part of the wall is painted black.
Now, in these demonstrations right here, there was a company called Goose Screen, and Goose Screen's demonstrations was you had to basically prime and you had to sand the wall down until it was perfectly flat, and it had to be primed. Everybody was following this on ABS forums. You had a whole bunch of people were coming in. They were showing all kinds of videos and pictures of them constantly sanding these walls down, and these walls had to be primed. You could not paint the paint to a wall that was blue or green or red or whatever. That was unheard of in that particular time. The wall had to be primed in order before you could paint it. So what we did in the demonstration, we painted the wall black because it was unheard of that you could paint over a black wall with a screen paint and still maintain an image in a fully lit environment. The colors and everything would pop up. You would have some problems because the surface had to be primed first. And this was basically the main rule in any form of screen paint product, that the surface had to be primed first, sanded and primed first. See, you didn't know that, did you? Some of y'all probably didn't even know that. But yes, that's how it was. That's how far my company goes back. I was in that particular era when Goose Screen was all the rage, and everybody was taking the time to come on ABS forums and were showing photos after photos and videos of them constantly sanding their walls down. The walls had to be this perfect primer color in order to apply the Goose Screen, which Goose Screen does explain in their video tutorial. If you watch the video, that's how it had to be done. This is how it was done 8 years ago. So in order to prove our product to be different from everybody else, because everybody was doing the exact same thing, we came in, painted the wall black, and painted over it and still produced a screen. This is one of the video demonstrations that got me banned from ABS forums because we were going against a fellow by the name of Mississippi Man, who basically was the admin at the time. I don't know if he is right now, but the admin at the time at ABS forums. See? That's how old our company is. That's how far back we go. But some of y'all just know me as black technology. And y'all think, oh, so, no. The very same technology you have on your wall, I've mastered that technology already. That crow screen paint, all that stuff, we mastered it. So we had this stuff 8 years ago. Been there, done it already. That's why I can look at this product and I can tell you exactly how it's going to react and how it's going to act because I was already making it.
So you guys can see. And we're going to paint our screen on the middle, and we're going to do it in an hour or less. And you can do this in an hour or less depending on the side of the screen you're doing. But like I said,
look at the marks and stuff in the wall.
You can paint the screen.
That area is super flat.
Area. This is the digital crystal screen in the quart sizes. And this is going to be the new digital crystal screen.
And Crow, if you're watching or watching later on, you will know that I made your product before you ever made it, before you even thought of it, I was making it.
In this video demonstration, you'll see exactly how easy it is for you to paint an HD screen on your wall in no time at all. So let me get the camera settled over here for a minute.
That's why I'm not threatened by your product. I can make your product. I know how it's made. I can look at it and tell how it's made. I was making it 8 years ago and selling it, and had contracts and had beta testers, the whole 9 yards, everything. But I'm actually very flattered that you're a subscriber to our channel. Look at the color of that paint. Is it black? What color is that paint? Nope, not even black. That's how I know you're probably going back into my archives and you're probably copying my work. Copying all my old demonstrations. So that's how I know when your product, that's why you want the product to come over here. Because if I look at that product, I will tell whether or not if it's near a copy of one of the products we made, and I know how it's going to react. Because again, I was making your product a long time ago. And I have the videos to back it up. Tons of them. Even have beta testers that were making it. Yeah, that doesn't bother you, doesn't it? It does bother. Yep. When I get people sit there and they want to run their mouths about my product, hey, look, I was making, like I said, making that light product a long time ago before Crow ever existed. And the fact that you're in my channel, watching, like a subscriber to my videos, shows clearly you're probably going back into my old archives, trying to find information on how to make new products. Like when you try to make that product called Sky Blue. No, Sky Blue was ours before you ever even thought about it. And what color is that screen paint that I'm painting on the wall? Is that a black product? New? That's a gray product, a very, very light gray product. Almost around the same color as a Cinemax. Yep, same color as the Cinemax. So pretty much you've probably been copying all my work. And this is 8 years ago. And I know that's a hurt piece to your naysayers. It really is. Because like I said, y'all want to come on my channel and talk about how, oh, black screen paints is, even though our black technology is far more advanced than your great products, we were making your products a long time ago. Which shows that the very same products that you brag about and support, I already made them already. 8 years ago. That's how I know how your screens are going to react, how they're going to trigger, how to make them, because we were already making it already. So, look at the demonstration. That doesn't look like a black screen to me. Now, at that particular time, I really thought that gray screens were where it was at. I really thought that. I really believed that. I thought I was seeing contrast levels. I thought I was seeing color. That all didn't change until I got a sample sheet from Screen Innovation. When I saw that screen hit my screen, I saw those colors pop out in contrast. That's how I knew it was in the wrong direction. That was around in 2015. That's when we had a company under Digital 4K Crystal Onyx. We started developing dark technology. The D5K, some of the darker screen paints, the Onyx. Those are the darker screen paints we're working with.
Now, mind you, with a lot of this, you usually have to wait a couple of hours for it to dry. No, so.
Yeah, your product, I can make every single one of them just like that because I made it 8 years ago. And wasn't even using a 4K expensive projector in my demonstrations. My projector was 2,000 lumens. That was it, NEC. Didn't have to use can never calibrate any of my projectors at all, period, in my demonstrations. When your demonstrations, you have to use expensive 4K projectors, calibrate all other nonsense. We don't do any of that. Right, 8 years ago, it was unheard of to have any light in the environment, any light. And all the YouTube demonstrations that were done were mainly in the dark. So the fact that we can have the window open and the window on this side of the room, and the fact that we can have lights on, and I was doing that on a projector of 2,000 lumens. I think it was 2,000 lumens. Now today, to have this little bit of light in the environment is a fail. You have to have fully lit environments. You see how my technology has changed from this to being an environment outside, to having more light in the environment, to having different coded screens. 8 years ago, we didn't have technology like that. Right, you come downstairs and turn my projector on and my screens will fire up. see. Digital one crystal screen paint. Cardboard. We did cardboard already. We did all the demonstrations. How I got banned from AVS forums. That was 7 years ago, right there. For basically beating Mississippi Man's screen. Hey, Mississippi Man, if you're out there, if you ever decide you want to go again, you let me know. We did demonstrations on kid-proof product. We made a product that bottom line is you can smear mustard, whatever you want on the screen, we paint over it. Did these all 8 years ago. This is all gray screen paint. Let me see. This one was done 9 years ago. This is when I first launched my company under digitalcrystalscreenpaint.com. This is Gears of War demonstration way back in the little room I started from. See, that's why I sit there and I laugh, because bottom line is all the demonstrations you do, you know, we did them with lights on. When I did some with lights out, I did some with lights
Hello,
out.
my name is Kenneth. I'm the designer of Digital One Crystal Screen Paint.
Yeah, we did all your products already.
Here, this is the new form. Sorry about my head being in the way. I'm going to make sure my screensaver doesn't pop on here. This is the new form of HD Extreme Gamer Paint by Digital One. Now, this paint right here can be used for several applications.
None of these paints were black. Every last one of these products we were designing were the same color your products are. That's how we know you were copying our work. And it's dated, it's time stamped.
As you can see, the color is crystal clear.
Now at that time, looking at that screen, I literally thought I was seeing contrast levels. Do you have any idea what that would look like on our black technology now? As a matter of fact, I need to do that same demonstration right now. I'm going to do that same demonstration on one of our black screens. All this is not black. I can see this now, but when I was at that particular time, I thought I was seeing contrast levels, but none of this is black. This is all gray.
Now, mind you, in a fully lit room. So I know you watch a lot of YouTube videos, not to put.
But at that particular time, 8 years ago, this was considered to be the paint that, you know, there was no such thing as black screens. It didn't exist.
Really dark environment. Not with this paint. This paint is designed to be used in a fully lit room. So
most demonstrations done at the time were done in dark environments. Dark environments. All the lights out, windows covered up, dark environments.
With the lights on. Let's try with the lights off. As you can see, it doesn't change the effect whether the lights are on or the lights are off. It's still with the sharp, vivid, crystal clear HD image.
And we did these on projectors of cheap projectors, 2,000 lumens, 1,000 lumens. We had a couple of Pico projectors in there. Here's a demonstration of me showing you can paint anything you want, like t-shirts, whatever you want. Yeah, Crow's been copying our work. We know that he's been copying our work.
Hello, my name is Ken.
Date on it, 2012. Painted a t-shirt. Because like I said, at this particular time, at 8 years ago, you had to paint it strictly to a wall only. There was no such thing as painting it on styrofoam. This is why you see me paint all this crazy stuff, because that came from way back then. Way back then, it was only painted to be strictly to a wall. You couldn't paint motorized projection screens. You couldn't paint fixed frame screen with it. Not with Goose Screen. You couldn't do it with that stuff. It had to be strictly to a wall and a wall only. And that's where we came out. We started painting all this weird stuff like drywall. We started painting t-shirts. We started painting. I have a friend of mine. We actually painted all his clothes, stuck in front of a screen, and had him camouflaged in front of the screen. We're just painting all kinds of crazy stuff. The drywall demonstration that Crow did, we did that 8 years ago. All that stuff. And if you look at the product, it's not black.
Can you really paint it on any kind of surface and turn it into an HD screen? Now, I've done a...
Pick up the label. That's the label on our original company.
All right, so it takes from...
Painted a t-shirt. That's the first fabric surface we ever did. To show people that you don't have to be stuck to a wall. You can actually paint this onto a fabric. Yep. Yeah, some people find it shocking when it goes there.
I'm the designer of Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, and what we have here is a small demonstration. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm up to. I like to give a lot of information on the new stuff that I'm designing, and also to...
That's my first projector right there. Was the BenQ MS500 600 by 800 res 720p SVGA. No 4K, no 1080p. We started on SVGA 600 by 800 res projectors. That's my custom gaming PC I was building for myself. This is right around the time when I was doing custom gaming PC. I believe that's an Xbox 360 modded out with a server board. That's a 2011 server board with 4 12-core processors. I think I had about 2 terabyte solid state drives on that. That was an integrated Xbox 360 for modding, for basically JTAG in the box and basically uploading and changing gamer tags at will, and also too doing other modifications. But that was an Xbox 360 right there. Right there, modification. This right here was a PC that was designed out of Tupperware. I built that PC out of Tupperware. I got tired of buying cases, so I actually built my own case.
Up a gallon. We're going to pay that much for paint. Wasn't going to happen. All right, so this right here is my PC that I designed. I call this the Icebox because it's designed to look like it's actually encased in ice.
I had to build all that stuff.
And this right on. And this right here is my Xbox 360.
That's an Xbox 360 modified.
Design, kill switches on the side. I got a big thing for kill switches.
Took the entire box apart, rewired, resoldered the entire system.
Controller and nuclear container in the inside, so forth. So anyway, as you can see,
that box got me a lot of hype on whatchamacallit.
So anyway, started designing this paint because
got sick and tired. I told you at that time people were sick and tired of basically the Xbox 360. It had so many freaking modders on freaking Xbox 360. It wasn't even funny. Because the fact that everybody had to open up their boxes to figure out how to get it to cool down, because once you took the box in and got the carbon for it and it came back and you had the confidence that your box was going to work and it burnt out again on you, like, oh shoot, you know what? And you go buy a brand new one and that burns out on you. Like, you know what? I'm just going to take matters into my own hand and do it myself. That system over here had a liquid cooling system. Actually, I attached a liquid cooling system to their CPU. So I had to basically resolder and redesign the motherboard in order to get the liquid cooling system to fit in there because it wasn't designed to adapt into the board. When you popped it open, you looked at the board, you said, oh, it's an IBM motherboard. Because that's pretty much it. Where they were old IBM motherboards. They just brought them back to life.
But yeah. It's not fair that these big companies are charging so much money for this HD screen paint and demonstration exactly.
Let me go to the video right here. Now mind you, looking at this now, that background is supposed to be black. It's not black. But I didn't see it at the time. Like I said, there's no such thing as a black screen. Didn't exist at the time at all. But that background, that loading screen right there is supposed to be jet black. Now I see it now. I can go back to my old demonstration and go, wow, man. Whew. But then again, it was 8 years ago, but that's excusable. If you're looking at screens now, they're doing this in this decade in time, when you have projectors that are doing somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 contrast ratios, 1,000,000 contrast ratios, and there's dark technology out there, and you still have screens doing this, this is old technology. That's why I consider this stuff to be old technology, because this stuff is 8 years old. That background loading screen on Sonic is supposed to be jet black, not gray. But at that particular time, 8 years ago, where dark technology didn't exist, this was acceptable. I gotta find this game and run this on the gamer screen. Let's see if I can find this game. Remind you, no 4K. The lamp is right next to the screen. My windows are open. My screen is huge, and I have this small room where all the light is compressed into the screen. At that, I'm using a projector that is 800 by 600 720p. No 4K, no 1080p. That got me a ton of orders. Because like I said, at that particular time, all screens were designed to be used in dark environments. Here we go right here. Another paint on demonstration I did right here, showing you that you could paint on any surface. You didn't have to prime the surface because, like I said, at that particular era in time, all surfaces had to be primed. They had to be primed. You have to prime the surface first. There was no such thing you could come in and just paint the screen on your wall and have all these marks on your wall. You had to prime the surface because that was considered to be the protocol.
My friend used to pay
Just like the protocol we have now is you have to be in these ambient light controlled environments.
Hello, my name is Kenneth. I'm designer of the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. Now, it's been told that basically it takes up to 10 hours or more to apply a goose screen on your wall. And
that was goose screen, the big screen, the big boy at the time.
Screen. Well, with my
gave you a little piece of history.
Let's put it this way. You can actually paint.
You weren't supposed to be able to paint over a wall like that. That was virtually impossible at that time.
A lot of drying, a lot of multiplications, a lot of sanding and so forth. Let me show you the wall we're going to be putting this screen on.
The marks and divots in the wall.
So you can see exactly
we started all that. So anything you see him do now, he's just copying our work. Copying my old demonstrations. And for those of you who thought because he talks about all this old dark technology, well, guess what? We were developing his product 8 years ago. Even farther back than that, even 7 years ago. We were actually making the product he's making now. That's how old it is. But again, I told you, you're buying all your product. When you buy products like that, you're buying old technology. That's what you're buying, old paints. That's what you're buying.
Those of you who want to know exactly what do the crystals do, well, the crystals are designed to make the screen sharper and brighter, and also giving you excellent picture quality in a fully lit room.
The sad thing about it is he's still using the old technology. He's still using the old technology, but he's still doing demonstrations in the dark. And at that, the advancements they have in projectors today are far more advanced than what they were 8 years ago. So he's using high-end advanced projectors on the same old technology in the dark because he knows darn well he cannot pull up that screen in a fully lit environment on a contrast level. Now, back then, people did it with contrast levels because they really thought they were seeing dark levels because, you didn't see anything to compare it to. What were you going to compare it to? There was no such thing as a black screen. They had one gray-ass screen out there. I think it was called Gray Wolf. They had a couple of gray products out there, but most of the products out there were just pretty much gray or light gray. There was no such thing as gunmetal or dark screens at that particular time. You really had nothing to compare it to. So that people actually thought they were seeing black levels at the time. Now, with the technology we have now, and you're still using this stuff, oh, please. That's like, you driving around with a car with a crankshaft in the front. You ever seen them old-fashioned Model T4s that have the car you crank up in the front, and everybody's driving all these new cars? Yeah, you got all the latest technology on the inside, but you're still using that same crank-up motor. That's what you're using right now. So that's why I laugh when I see a lot of these demonstrations. People still using these light gray screens. Like, wow, you know how old that stuff is? That stuff is really old.
For a minute, turn my fan on.
There's me, right there again on camera. A long time ago. What color is the paint, naysayers? What color is it? Is it black or is it gray? Actually, that's our ultra light gray. It's not black, is it? Paint roller look familiar? Same one Crow does in this demonstration, so you can copy in our work. I don't mind, I'm flattered by it. I mean, hey. But that's why when you sit there and I tell you on camera that stuff is old, I'm not joking with you. I got the demonstrations right here. You can go back on the Digital Crystal Screen and check it out for yourself. This is a product we were using 8 years ago. That's why when you look at Elite screens and you look at their screen selection, they'll start off with the white screens, which are the bottom dollars. They'll start off with the Cinema Gray, which is a very light gray screen, and they're about $800. Then you move up to the Cinema Gray 5D and Cinema Gray 3D, which are more like a mid-color gray, a darker screen, much more darker than that particular product. It's going to cost you $1,500, $1,600. And then you get to the gunmetal, the dark screens, the Dark Star 9, which would cost you around $3,000. Because even they know that light product is considered to be kind of a bottom dollar product. You want the real deal, you want the high-tech screens, you gotta lean toward the darker screens. That's where the technology's at. This is old. And for those of you that were convinced that, oh, all he does is make dark products, all he does is make dark products, please. Projector I was using at this time was an NEC projector at 2,000 lumens. Lights are on, lights are off. Now imagine that paint right there that I made in that demonstration, I painted on, imagine it with the 4K and projectors we had to now, 8 years later. That was 8 years ago. Now see where it's supposed to be a dark scene? Even I can analyze my own stuff. See how that discoloration right here? This is how I know when I look at screen paints now that are doing the exact same product we made 8 years ago. When they're actually bringing up this kind of lighting, this is how I know your screens are washing out. Because we made 8 years ago. I can look at the technology we have now compared to what we had back then, and I can tell if any of this pops up on your screen, it shows that your screen cannot see contrast or color correctly. Same thing, we have this products down here, it picks up the exact same way. Now, see how much better it looks with the lights out? Perfect example on my own product, which I can go back and analyze my own stuff. See how much better the lights look? I told you when you do contrast demonstrations at the time, like I said, it's 8 years ago. It was unheard of doing the demonstrations we do now. Now when we do demonstrations, anytime you show up a contrast demonstration, they always have to be done in fully lit environments because now the technology is more advanced. You have to be to keep up with it. He's still using old stuff. So that's the reason why he can't do contrast demonstrations in fully lit environments because it would automatically fade. Ta-da! You had to have a darker screen to be able to maintain your contrast levels in fully lit environments. The light product is obsolete. I've been telling y'all that for years. I've been telling y'all that. I can go back and analyze my own stuff and show you exactly, like I said, but at this particular time, 8 years ago, it was unheard of. Now, if you got this stuff now, oh, come on, you should know better than this if you have this now. See how much better that looks in the dark? Now, if I turn the lights on using that screen paint, it would wash out. That's why they do all their demonstrations, the personal mix, every demonstration I saw all that on the OLED horse, the OLED fish, all those were done in the dark. But like I said, 8 years ago, this was excusable. This was, this was considered to be breaking products because you weren't supposed to be use screen paints, number one, in fully lit environments. You weren't supposed to be able to paint over a surface that was marked up because that was unheard of because surfaces had to be sanded down, much like Goose Green's protocol. Everything had to be sanded down. Everything had to be smooth in order to show an image. Because if you didn't, using that product, because Goose Green was kind of very thin, you would see all the imperfections pulled to the screen. because at that particular era, it was unheard of for a screen to be able to pull up an image on a surface that was that damaged. Unheard of. Back then, 8 years ago, if you were doing projection, you had to sand the wall down to it's perfectly flat. Couldn't be any ridges, line, divot, holes, none of that. It'd be perfectly flat. That's a lot of sand you had to go through first. Then second, you had to prime the surface. And then you had to do a 3-paint application, do goose screen, which I showed you a demonstration on that, which was a bit of a process. All screens had to be painted this way. We came on the scene, we did something completely opposite. We took a screen, I went up to the hardware store, I spray painted the wall, marked it up. I already had some divots in it already, and did that demonstration to show you that, no, you don't have to. You don't have to sand a wall down. You don't have to. It doesn't make a difference if it has grooves in it or if there's a electrical outlet sticking it out of your wall. You just paint over it and you're done. That's where all this came from the technology we have now, that we're able to paint over stuff and do this and do that. So all the stuff we see people doing now, we already did it already. That's why I sit there when you naysayers come into my room ranting about how his product is the best. No, my product was the best because I was making it before he was making it. But thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. So when you look at your wall today and you look at your product on your wall, know that the product that you have sitting on your wall next to the up-to-date projector that you have now, your product on your wall is about 8 years old, if not even that less. Because I was making that product. Because in your mind, you're thinking, oh, all Ken made was black screen paint. No, 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 no. Many years back, I was making a product that was gray. That's what I was making. So the very same product you have on your wall with your up-to-date projector. Your projector's up to date, your screen's out of date. That's why you're not picking up the color. That's why you can't pick up contrast, why your images are not popping the way they're supposed to pop. That's why. And this is why we have a bunch of canceled orders over there, because, you know, darn well, if we bring that product over here and we test it in today's testing environment, it's not going to do too well. It's going to fail miserably. That's why we have the stack of canceled orders. Woo! It's a lot to pop that man. That's why. Because he's still doing demonstrations in the somewhat same era we were doing it 8 years ago. That's why I asked that when you you fake a demonstration, you go, well, look, I'm going to show you all these colors in the environment on the screen, and I'm going to show you a fully lit environment. I notice that every time I watch a demonstration, I tell you that right from the door. Anytime you watch a screen paint showing nothing but colors on the screen in a fully lit environment, and it's gray, it can't pull any other color. It's not going to show you contrast. Now, how about you switch it over to a Starfield demonstration and see if you can pull up the same black levels as a black screen and a fully lit environment. No, they're going to stick what's going to work. And even with the colors, the screen's still faded and washed out. But yeah, this is for those of you who thought that, oh, all he does is make black screen paints. No, we were doing this 8 years ago. We did this matter of fact, this was 4 years ago. This was a technology we developed, was a wallpaper screen, a flexible curved wallpaper screen. We never launched it. We never ever launched it. That was on a 2000 lumen old projector, but never got around to launching it.
If you thought Amazon was cheap,
I got technology I haven't even from years ago that we've never ever tested.
Coupons and promo codes. It's super convenient and super easy. And
The first one. This is before LG came out with their wallpaper projection screen. We had the technology first.
let the screen expand
Way
out.
before they had it.
You can see the screen is very, 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 very.
Way before LG claimed to have it, we had one. Just never did anything with it. Don't even ask me why, just didn't do anything with it.
And the screen is freaking crazy thin. That's the screen right there. Has no weight to it. I say it probably, this screen right here, 100-inch screen, I'd say would probably come in at maybe less than 5 pounds.
We had that technology way before LG had it. And didn't care. No, I didn't care. I'll tell you why I didn't care. I told you, I got so much technology in my head on stuff that we can develop and design, I really don't care. This can pass and go on, or has something more advanced than that. This technology is fantastic, but this technology right here will blow that clean out of the water with no problem. The Phoenix technology we have is far more advanced than this technology. This is old to us. This is nothing. I don't worry about stuff like that. I can redevelop all my products. If I want to right now, I can basically eliminate every last one of the Phoenixes right now and bring out technology within about 3 or 4 weeks that replace that technology, and so forth and so forth. It's already here in my head. I've been blessed to have that kind of knowledge to be able to do that. All my ideas come from God. Everything you see here before me that we design and make comes from God.
Has never been calibrated. I got people coming and telling me like, oh, you have to calibrate your projector. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I've been telling back then, you don't have to calibrate your projector.
Old traditional white screens.
Who was calibrating projectors?
0.1 white screens when there was no such thing as a gray screen and all screens were white. Actually, there's two versions of this. I have one sitting up in my gaming room, and this one here is an actual micro thin surface that is super thin.
Designed to flex with light. That's how that technology was designed, to flex with light. So you can bend the screen back and forth, and that image was designed to flex around light.
Of course, like I said, we'll do a demonstration.
Without distorting the image.
The wall in the screen itself. Look how pure the whites are on the screen. That is freaking incredible, isn't it?
Old technology, stuff we don't even bother with. And can I make it again? Yeah, I can make it again. Am I interested in making it again? Nah. Because the stuff we have right now is far more advanced than this. This is old stuff. We don't make this stuff anymore. 3D hologram paint. We made this way, way, way back. This was a product in order to make images lift up off the screen. Been there and done it already. No, more products made under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint 8 years ago. Big boy screen. I said that demonstration has never been matched yet. 180-inch screen doing demonstrations. That has never been done yet. There's another one right here. Here's another one right here. This was the Platinum 3.1 black. This was a black screen we were actually engineering. This is back in 2014.
Struggle. It is so hard
2014.
to find something that works, but it's getting so much better thanks to agency. They are a custom.
Right around the
Hey guys,
time.
it's Kenneth Bird from Digital and Crystal Screen Paint. Today I'm doing some video demonstrations on the on one side of the screen. Sorry about that. We have the Digital One 3.0 HD Black, and on the other end we have the Crystal Platinum 3.0.
I forgot about a lot of these demonstrations. See the difference here? See how even on the Platinum right here, you can see, this is where we're working with darker technology. On the Platinum here, you can see right here where the contrast levels are not picking up. This is when we started working with darker technology. Much, much better advancement. And able to maintain its white levels all at the same time. Yeah. You have no idea how far back it goes. You think I just started developing dark technology now? You naysayers have a lot to know about me. No, we've been working on dark technology for a very, very, very long time. And this is how we know how to make his product with no problem, or any other product that comes out, because we've been doing it for so long. I know what's in it. I know how it's made. I know exactly how much you have to put into it in order to get it to be able to produce a higher white level, to actually pull its contrast levels. It's right around it. This is Xbox 360 dashboard. I should tell you how far back it goes back. That screen's not black. That screen's gray. And that's completely washed out. All that's washed out. From what we use now, back then, like I said, this was supposed to be considered to be impressive because you're not supposed to be to use a gray screen in this much light, but that's completely washed out. That's not black. That's not black. None of that's black. But at that particular time, like I said, that's what to me, it was black. Ultra short though projector. Still, oh, welcome to paint discontinued. This is when we discontinued the product 7 years ago. You know how old a digital and crystal screen paint product was? It was 7 years ago. I told you, my archives goes way, way back. You know what color the digital crystal screen paint was? It was actually the exact same color as the Frankenstein. Exact same color. Slideshow. This is how far back it goes back. This is when YouTube had slideshows. They don't do slideshows anymore. This is when they had slideshows of images. That's how old it goes back. Yeah, the product made that was to make the whatchamacallit, it's the same color as the Frankenstein. That's why he's been copying our work for the longest time. Look at this. This is screen door effect. See that pixel in? That's the screen door effect right there. That's when I told you have to be literally that close to a screen. This is a drywall demonstration. He claimed he did a drywall demonstration. We've been done that demonstration. We did that back in
Hello, my name is
2012.
Kenneth. I'm designer of digital and crystal screen paint. Now, I'm just in a video on a live, raw drywall demonstration. We're going to go a little farther. I try to prove as much as possible exactly how good this
Look at the rollers. Same uses the same rollers we used back then. Look familiar? Oh, you've been copying our work for a long. These are old videos. I'm going back and looking at our old videos, figuring we wouldn't notice, and doing the same thing we're doing.
Make sure there's no drip. It used to be in this piece of this now. Projector on.
That's what I sit there and tell you. We've been making it. We did this stuff already. Wasn't joking.
And you can do it easily in a fully lit room.
I think that's Far Cry 3. Yes, Far Cry 3. I think it is. Far Cry 3. That video was back. Yeah, it was Far Cry 3. Wow, that far back. I can't believe I hold that video on Far Cry when I played that game on Xbox 360.
And like I said, it's very easy to use. You can paint a wall, you can paint a screen. It's that easy. And with Digital One, I will back up what it will do. If I say you can paint on any color wall, you can do it. Any surface, or almost any surface, let's be clear here, it can do it.
We didn't even know who a Crow was at that particular time. We didn't know who he was or what he was or anything. He didn't even existed. Another demonstration.
Hello, my name is Kenneth, and I'm the designer of Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. And as I explained,
Army of Two. You know, oh, that game is.
Designed to be used in a fully lit room. Now, let's see exactly how much.
And we're putting the lights under the screen. We started that.
Light coming through the window. We have 100-watt light bulb in each, and we have the lamp here. And this is the screen painted with Digital One Crystal Screen Paint.
Copy.
Now I'm set by sorry about the fan noise in the back.
That was a good game too. They had to bring this back out. This was a good game. Army of Two is an amazing game. We played them with co-op. I only played it with co-op. That was a good game of co-op. That was the best co-op game I think they had. And that besides getting Gears. Now, for those of you sitting there saying, but yeah, but it's kind of washed out. Again, like I said, this was 8 years ago. This was acceptable. Today, now it's not. That's why when I look at the products now, I go, nope, 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 nope. Because a lot of this stuff is looking like what it looks like from 8 years ago. Man, here's another screen I did. Digital crystal screen paint. This is the angle gain. This is on a 2.0 right here. Another gray screen that was made. Here's I'm showing you my timestamp.
Hello, my name is Ken.
Color screen. That's my timestamp right there.
And basically, I'm just showing a little bit of a small demonstration of the HD screen paint in action. A lot of videos that you will see on other goo paints are done in really, really dark environments.
I say goo paint because that's the time everybody was using goo paint.
Wall in half an hour or less, depending on the size of that screen. And also, you can do it in a fully lit room. Watch this small video demonstration.
Show you the angle gain because I got that. As I'm doing this, I'm learning from my company. You know, people ask me questions like, what's the angle gain on your screen? So I had to go online and research what was angle gain, what's the distance throw. Problem I have with the distance throw because, like I said, I was renting like a small room. I couldn't do that, but I had friends of mine that could test my product. That had houses that could do it. Now here, distance throw is easy. I got my living room from my living room from one end to the next is about 18 feet. So I have plenty of room to do distance throw and plenty of room to play out in the back and everything. So like I said, we were doing this stuff a long time ago, man. A long time ago. You know, 9 years ago, 8 years ago. Invisible technology. We've been had all this stuff a long time ago. But like I said, this stuff has advanced. Because ever since the day that when I got that sample sheet of Black Diamond, that's what changed everything for us. Just realized that we weren't seeing what we were supposed to be seeing at all. You know, this is a demonstration I did on a canvas screen when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. This was my screen when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. And this was on canvas, which was another thing that was not supposed to be painted on.
Hey, what's going
That's on
This
canvas.
Is, Kenneth from Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, and this is the new Digital One Crystal Silver. I'm doing a little Grand Theft Auto. I know I'm a little late with the game. I had some business expenses that had to be paid for, but I finally got my hands on the game. And I'm going to show you exactly how crazy this looks. Let me grab my control over here. You guys can see this.
This is when I had a 720p short throw projector, ViewSonic. This didn't have, this is an older model. I bought the projector from a friend of mine for like, I think $100.
This paint is magnificent, unbelievable. When I tell you this is about the best HD paint.
No calibration to the projector, nothing.
This is about the best. This paint is beautiful. Spots are now limited. This is the new digital. It's big. And mind you, this is a canvas drop cloth that I got from Home Depot. I paid about $10 for, and this is the result that I get from my paint.
Canvas drop cloth from Home Depot for $10. That's what it cost me to my screen. Once I applied the screen paint to it, turned into this. More demonstrations. This is actually from one of my customers right here. This was a silver. 300 lumens. That's it. 300 lumen projector. That's a Pico projector and a 100-inch screen from one of the customers. Let me see. It's another silver screen we did right here. Look at this. All these demonstrations. Like I said, our demonstrations going for days. Look at this one. This was from 9 years ago. I think this might have been one of my first demonstrations right here. This is where we took a what's it called? Like the shades that you get in your window shades that you get over at Home Depot. Oh, it's the black trim. We turned one of these into a projection screen.
All right, so this is what it looks like when you peel the tape off. Paint's probably dry. You see there's a black border around it. That's your trace line for putting your velvet border around it. Makes it a little easier. Don't worry about any paint on the floor. The paint washes off with hot water and warm water and soap. And everything's biodegradable, which means you can just put it down the sink.
See the color of that screen?
No problem with the environment. We want to be environmental friendly, don't we? All right, so next step is to test it against the projector. We're going to be using a BenQ MS500 projector. It has 25 luminums, and it's 800 by 600 res, or 600 by 800 res. And
that's an old demonstration from way back. This is another one of the, was it 3D? One of these actually. Look at this invisible technology.
Introducing the all-new Vault from North.
My time stamp for invisible rear technology, 2013. October the 10th of 2013. Invisible technology we started messing around with. Come on, all that stuff, been there, done it already.
A new crystal clear screen paint, which is it's going to be designed for rear projectors.
So how can you call somebody a fake and a scammer if we were here before you ever existed?
Odds and ends that I need to actually get a better performance on this paint, so I'm going to bring it over here. Ouch, just tripped over something major.
Never saw these videos before, have you? Yeah, this is in our archives. I told you I had enough videos from my archives to literally choke a horse, and I wasn't joking.
On it, so I'm still trying to work out all the little bugs, but until then it's doing pretty well. And mind you, we're doing the thing.
Let's see. Wow, these are